All right, guys, just when I thought everything was going so great, I just found out that one of my hives swarmed. So I'm trying to figure out which hive it is. And I saw the swarm earlier today, so I'll show you. So here's the hives. Everything's quiet because everything's cooling off. The bees aren't really flying around right now. It's probably 60 degrees. So I was showing my mom all of my garden, and then I'm like, what is this over here in the tree? And it's a big swarm of my bees. So I'm not sure which hive it is. I think it's the Noooo hive because I had opened up the Noooo hive today to throw in an empty frame, and it was very quiet. Like, it didn't look like there was bees building comb anymore, like they had stopped. So I thought that was unusual, and I think they just felt like they ran out of room. So I wanted to try to put them back into the hive. Now, question is, how the heck am I going to do this? I have one empty super, but no bottom for it. I could probably throw them into a cardboard box and then try to dump them from the box into the hive from there. So we've got plenty of cardboard boxes lying around, but they're so calm right now because it's chilly out and they're trying to stay warm. It's going to get down to 50 tonight, so I don't know if that's going to be too cold for them. So I really want to try to get them back into the hive as soon as possible, and I'm just going to have to shake them loose. So I got to go get a cardboard box, and then I'm going to put a super on top of the hive so I can have room to shake them into that. And we'll just hope we can get the queen, and the bees will kind of make their way over there. Not the problem I wanted to have tonight when the sun's about to go down in an hour. So I think it's like all the bees in the hive, exactly. So I just want to get them back in it. Pretty sure that's the hive, so I'm going to go check that out right now. Make sure. I think it's the Noooo hive. All right, so the problem is right now I can't really tell which hive is the one that swarmed without doing a full hive inspection, which I don't really have time for. There's still bees walking around up in here, and they're really calm. They're not acting really queenless, but it's also kind of chilly out, and they're probably just wondering what the heck's going on. But I think I just would have to do a full hive inspection they were really filling out this comb when I first put it in, and now they kind of abandoned it. So I really think it's this hive. So I'm going to grab a couple of frames out of here. Luckily, we still have the Noooo box from when I got the bees earlier. So this will kind of give them a place to hang out. So just put a couple of frames. So that it's just starting to build out that. And then we're just going to shake the bees into this box. And well, the thing is that there's no holes in it, so it's not like they're gonna really do anything. So I think just having like one place for them to cluster is probably plenty, maybe.
What do you mean, no holes?
There's it's not three-dimensional, the comb.
Oh.
It's not like they're gonna be putting anything in it, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they start building it out.
Yeah.
Probably got a comb already started on the tree.
Well, they're probably still out there scouting for a place to live.
Yeah.
That's why they're still there. That one's got some frames built. There's still a lot of bees in there, but there could have been a lot of bees in here. I think maybe the new batch hatched out before they had a chance to build their comb. So I mean, there's still a lot, and they're really quiet, so it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I mean, maybe they know that there's a queen in progress or something. So that's what we're going to do is try to shake those bees into this box overnight so they can kind of at least stay warm. Because there's a lot of bees on that swarm. I don't want to lose all those bees. Maybe I can make another hive out of them.
Yeah.
And for the record, this is my first swarm that I've been able to access. Once my bees swarmed like 50 feet up in a tree, so there's nothing I could do about it. But trying to grab these bees while I can is important right now. So there's a couple frames in here for them to kind of have something to settle on. Maybe we can put the frames in after, I don't know. Because I want them to land in the box and not spill out. Let's try something. Not too big of a box. It's going to have to be a big shake. Probably need a brush or something.
Yeah.
A bunch landed on the frames at least. Alright.
So,
I'm gonna close it up. I don't know if I got the queen in there or not, but
see if you can pry that open a little bit. Maybe put a stick in that. I guess. Yeah, there you go.
I think that should be enough to get
Yeah.
them to crawl in.
Yeah. Yeah, I just walk away. See, grab my saw. You got bees all over you.
I know, I'm covered in bees.
Yeah.
I got my buff from my race.
There's the beekeeper. Caught her first swarm tonight.
I hope I caught it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
They're in the box, so.
I hope they're still there in the morning and they're able to stay, at least they're able to stay warmer, I hope, clustered in a box than just on a branch. And maybe more protected from skunks or what, I don't know what comes out here that might eat them, but they'll at least give me a time to figure out which hive it's from. I mean, and maybe I could just go ahead and put them in another hive, you know, get some more equipment or something.
Yeah. We probably got room for one more.
Mm-hmm. So now the mosquitoes are getting me. Didn't get stung and all of that, but actually I think I got a little bit stung. Yeah. Like when I first shook them, I think one just like landed on me and stung, but at least with the 20 bees that were crawling on me afterwards, they were pretty forgiving. But hopefully I can figure it out, and if there's not room to put them back, I'll just get another hive or something.
Right. Sounds
okay,
good.
Well, that's a wrap, guys.
Here we are the morning after the swarm yesterday. Got the nuke box set up. We went to bed last night, there were still a bunch of bees up on the tree branch right there. And even this morning it looked like they were still huddling there. But now it appears they may all be in the box now.
Okay guys, here we are in the morning time, it's like 7 o'clock, and it's really windy today, so this is unfortunate. Just, I don't know, bees don't really like wind. I don't know if it's going to increase the irritability, but the nuke, the box that we used to put the bees in last night is over there. It looks like we shook them in and they're still in it. So I think the queen's in there, and for the time being they're not swarming to another location. So I want to get them back to the original hive, which I'm pretty sure is, now that I looked at it this morning, it's like not very much activity at all, and it was totally jam-packed like 3 days ago. So I'm going to shake them back into that hive, but I'm going to...
Feel heavy?
Yeah.
There's a lot where your left hand is, so be careful.
I think the ball of them are right here.
Yeah.
That's right, they're in the frames, so I will
Maybe
attempt to take the frames out and then dump the rest in.
Maybe they'll just fly in there by themselves.
They might, yeah.
What's that resting on? What's the right side resting on?
All the weight's concentrated right here.
Oh, I know. Yeah, just be careful, the boxes will flip over.
It's stuck together. They're building a comb, I can tell.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Wow. You getting it?
Yeah. I'm just trying to ease it in.
Good thing your in the gym all the time. Oh wow.
That was a good idea, putting the frames in.
Just put that next to the hive.
That does it. Oh god, phew, I'm glad. Hopefully they stay in there. Well, I think they're committed because they were filling out those frames in the box overnight, and there was comb built out and honey and everything, so you know, they built it out even more because I think the frames when we put them in didn't have hardly any honeycomb built on them, and they were built out pretty good overnight. There's a lot of bees. I lifted it up and it felt like 3 pounds per frame of bees on them, so I don't want to lose all those bees after I just got them. God. Got back my first swarm. I'm really glad they didn't go way high up in the tree. I would have been really sad and been worried about them like all summer. And they weren't even nasty to me, so that's good. You know, nobody wants to get stung on the face. So, all right, we'll let them go, and I'll check on them tomorrow. Hopefully they'll settle back in. But yay, happy.
Get some more soon.
Alright guys, I'm getting back in the hive today to kind of check out how the bees are doing since I put the swarm back inside the hive. I'm going to look for queen cells. I'm going to look to see how they're expanding. Hopefully they didn't swarm again, but it looks like a lot of activity outside the hive, so it seems like they've settled back in. So I'm just going to do a quick inspection to see where they're at, and hive number 1 as well, because I don't want them to swarm either, and see if how much more equipment I need to buy this week. Hopefully it's good news and they're kind of settling in, but you never know with bees. Sometimes they do their own thing even when you try to help them out. So it looks like the bees are all back in here. It looks very full compared to before the swarm where it was looking really empty. It's good. So the 2 frames that I put in the top that had the swarm on them, I'm going to actually move them down below. So they're building out the comb here. And they're putting in some nectar. And I know that this nectar is from wildflowers because I haven't been feeding this hive. So it's not sugar water, it's definitely wildflower honey. They're building a little extra here because they got an extra piece right here because they were out in the open and they didn't have any frames next to it. So I'm going to try to put this one on the end, see if it fits. I might have to cut that piece off. These were the 2 frames that I put into the nucleus box when I caught the swarm, and that's all that's in here right now. So I'm going to take this box off all the way because it's otherwise empty. Put this one on the edge. So I'm relieved to see that they've decided to stay and build out all this comb, and they're starting to fill it with nectar. This is wildflower nectar, so that's great. I wanted to look below in the brood box to see if I can see any queen cells, and I can get rid of those since we got the queen back in here. It's interesting that they swarmed and they didn't even fill out all of their honeycomb. Now they're definitely filling out this corner with nectar here. But this side's blank, so, you know, they kind of gave up all their room and they decided to swarm instead, but maybe they thought they didn't have time to build comb. I don't know. Okay, I do see some queen cells, so I'll try to pinch these off. The bees might have already decided to destroy them. So if I see the queen, I'll be really excited that I know she's back in here. I mean, they're not acting queenless, so I feel like they are in here. Alright, I see the queen. So to recap, this hive had some queen cells that I got rid of, pinched them off, because I did see the queen in here, so she should be good for now, and they're building out all the comb that I put in for them. So they decided to stay in this hive. They're a little bit ornery right now, I think, just because they'd swarmed and they came back, and maybe they're just disoriented, not really sure what's going on, so I didn't spend a whole lot of time digging around. This hive over here, they still haven't built out on the plastic frame combs that I gave them, so kind of disappointed by that. But they don't have any signs of swarming. I didn't see any queen cells in the brood box. I didn't go to the very bottom brood box, but I did see the queen, so she's still in there. I don't know, hopefully they're not thinking about swarming. I didn't see any evidence of it, but I'd really love to see them be building out the comb on the plastic frames. Maybe I'd go to the store and buy some regular wax foundation for them, but right now they're still taking some feed, so maybe there's just not a ton of resources right now in nature for them to build the comb. We'll see. I'll check on them again in a few days.